Hey folks, welcome to the community workshop. This is a special stream we're doing as a part of the community week that we're celebrating here at Epic for Paragon. I'm joined by In Us We Trust, Ed. I got Justin, aka Nabori, aka Gamer Fitness, aka the man with so many names and so many talents. Great guy.
Appreciate it.
aka Fizz. We got Fizz over here, Austin. And we're going to talk through a number of things. This is a little bit different style of a stream. We wanted to do a community workshop, just kind of telling you guys about how this idea came to fruition. More or less, we have a Discord meetup with some of the folks like Fizz and Nabori, where we talk through things about how to help support what they're doing inside the community and even outside of the community, whether it be like, hey, I want to play a new Unreal Engine game, or hey, I want to learn more about YouTube, or hey, I am interested in understanding more about sponsorships, or hey, what can I do to better improve the content that I'm making for X or Y? And so we spend a lot of time talking with the community, especially folks that are community leaders, so to speak, but they do a really good job of being involved with the Epic Games community at large. But we do a lot of work with them to try to help them grow. And what we wanted to do today is talk about it more in an open platform, about how we can, Epic can help people achieve the goals that they have, whether it be in art or cosplay or Twitch or YouTube, or they want to be better at being just a better player or involved in the competitive scene. Whatever the case may be, we're trying to find ways to involve more people in the community, and so we kind of developed the community workshop idea. So thank you guys for coming out. Really appreciate that.
Welcome.
And so it's good to have you guys be so close.
For sure.
So you guys are basically right in our backyard. Before we hop into some of the specifics around Twitch and YouTube, which Nabori does a lot of stuff on YouTube, also streaming.
Yeah.
Fizz does a lot of stuff on Twitch with less stuff on YouTube. So got a kind of a balance here. And then we also have Misty Tori, who is the Fortnite community coordinator. She'll be on to talk about Twitch here momentarily. But this should be pretty good. When we get started here, we're going to talk through the things that Epic kind of goes, some of the philosophies we follow when it comes to working with Epic and some of the game teams. It could also be Engine, but the value that Epic has on community here is very, very important to our core philosophy around developing games, being very community centric, and building out a platform where the in-game experience or out-of-game experience builds up the game in general. So like if we were going to an event, and Chris did this at PAX East. And we had a meetup. The first time we did it, before the game really launched, we had, I don't know, a couple people show up, like, they were interested in Paragon. And then the second time we did it, we didn't have a booth or anything. We had like 50 people show up to our meetup.
Oh, wow.
And we went to PAX West that same, well, it would have been last
Earlier
year.
that year.
We had, I don't know, a couple hundred people show up to, was it GameWorks is where we were at?
Yep. It was myself and Raxzilla back then. We had about 150 people show up to GameWorks there.
What we're trying to do is really organically build out genuine interest in the community and having an environment where everyone feels like they're part of the club, part of the family. And so, that's why we value it so much here at Epic, is because we want it to feel relevant to what people are doing and helping support you guys. And building people up, I think, has a much better long-term relationship experience with other people. I think all too often we kind of get caught up in game to game to game and community, but you don't necessarily build a one-on-one relationship with individuals.
Definitely.
And so that's what we think is really, really important in helping you guys with that. And then the other thing that we value is making other people aware in general of what individuals are doing. So We do things like spotlights, and social call outs, and
we have Paragon of Community.
Yeah,
we have a number of things.
We did the YouTube creator highlight. We did Beanhead,
Right.
RGS
That was
Ace,
awesome.
and Sylphin, and then I saw people in there like, hey, where's Gamer Fitness at? Hey, where's Noboria? I was like, I was thinking, hey, we're gonna have Noboria on Thursday. Just wait, guys.
Yeah.
I feel like it. The community recognizes what you guys are doing, so we get comments like that.
For sure.
But it's just as satisfying for us, and we'll talk more to this as on an individual basis, but it's just as satisfying for us on the community team to have that opportunity to do that and privilege to do that, because a lot of us started in the exact same places where you guys were, and we didn't have the same type of support from developers at that time because it was so new.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
So I think it's important for us to establish that relationship. And then there's one additional comment. I'd say this a lot, and these guys were out at the open beta event that we had. This is back in August of 2016. And if you've heard me talk, if you've been out to our events, you guys know I am very devoted to being an advocate for the philosophy around not letting the rich get richer when it comes to content creation, because what you'll see a lot from a publisher-developer relationship is publishers will say, hey, we really want to work with this guy, and those people are fantastic, but they don't spotlight the folks that are the people that are there from day one to day 100 to day 200
out there grinding.
Instead, they spotlight the person that's day one, and that person is already mega huge, right? And so I feel like for us, we try to avoid that, and we want to spread the love as much as possible. That being said, if someone continues to do awesome stuff, we're not going to just all of a sudden be like, oh, well, got to ignore that. But we want people to be involved with the community. So that's kind of what it's like on the Epic side when we think about community and the value of helping people achieve their goals that they want in game, and in some cases in life, for the folks trying to make professional careers out of this. The other thing that we wanted to talk about was the Twitch whitelisting process. Now, both of you guys, I'm fairly certain are whitelisted for Paragon. Basically, we get a lot of questions about how do I become whitelisted? Why do you have this process in place?
Why is so-and-so not whitelisted?
Why is so-and-so not whitelisted? And there's a couple of things that we kind of put out in the very first blog, but it's more like, more or less, we are focusing on constructive discussion and people that are, one, building up community presence around themselves, but also in a way that is I would say healthy for just interaction in general. I know gaming culture can be a very tedious and tricky to kind of build up a personality and discussion that can be constructive, but we think that that's very important. So toxic behavior, things like that. Not saying that we don't have people that have their days. Sure. But it's definitely not a core a trait that we look for when we're looking at channels and some of the other regional community leads and community managers are looking at those folks in those places as well. And then the why not me mentality, which is what Ed mentioned.
Yep.
What we try to avoid, I think, is a lot of attention seeking. What we've typically observed, and this is not everyone, I think it's fair and within human nature to say, well, what am I doing wrong?
Right.
Or what am I not doing? But I think the thing that kind of stands out with the why not me mentality is that a lot of times that turns into the why them and not me.
Right.
And we, and you guys know this, we advocate you guys celebrating everyone, right? So it makes it difficult for us to say we're going to whitelist someone when they're outright or outwardly trying to attack someone else that is inside the whitelist or inside the community in general, or they attack the dev team in general. Well, you guys didn't pick me, so screw you. Yeah. Right? That's not the mentality that we're trying to foster. And I can understand that it's frustrating because we haven't talked about this process, but it definitely shows colors of those types of individuals if that is the route that they take in the long term.
Absolutely. And I think one thing that's kind of important to mention, this is going back a little bit off of the whitelisting and more to what Kale was speaking about, our general philosophy behind community and whatnot. You can look at more recently we had Golden Week and John the Nerd come out.
Yeah.
They are from our forums primarily. Not a huge following. Of course, I'm sure a lot of you guys know about them. They're always up in forums, talking to people, trying to get people all the knowledge that they need to be successful in Paragon. Super, super helpful. We're never about like me.
Definitely.
All about the community. Brought them out here. So just to be clear, I don't see it too much in our community, more so than like others, but I don't want there to be a misconception that I have to be a big streamer or a big YouTuber or be whitelisted to come out to Epic.
Oh, no,
absolutely not the case. Absolutely not the case.
Not at all. So yeah, that's definitely a good point. And then, I want to hit on this point again. We actively promote within the community itself to support what other people are doing, especially if, we put a spotlight video out. It's like, hey guys, go check that out. We think it's awesome. Maybe you guys will find interest in it.
For sure. Yep.
And then we try to do things like provide codes for you guys to give out, which we sent out around not too long ago, so that the communities that you do have that you're building around yourselves have an opportunity to be rewarded for their support for you guys. So those are the types of things that we kind of look for when it comes to discussion on stream. I don't think people realize how much Twitch we watch.
Yeah.
When it comes to Twitch whitelisting.
These guys lurk.
Yeah.
It's surprising.
So,
you open up that
everyone
list.
Everyone knows because we'll randomly be in a stream and no one knows we're lurking, and someone will say something, and then like I was watching Fizz. This must have been like last week, and I just typed something in the chat, and then he actually called me out one time when I didn't say anything. He's like, Arctic, I see you in chat lurking. It's like, yeah, I'm here.
All of a sudden, you're like, oh.
Yeah. So, we do a lot of just observing how people interact with other individuals.
On a day-to-day basis.
Yep,
absolutely.
And then we have regional, like I said, I mentioned before, we have a regional team that talks about or reviews, I should say, the streamers in their region. So I don't speak German, but we have a German community lead, Daniel, who will watch German streams, and same with France and Spanish and Russian.
Yep.
And so we try to, with our European group, do the very same, have the very same processes in place when observing folks that we feel like would be beneficial to have in the community. Explicit content. Not that you can't drop an F-bomb or some other explicit words in stream. There's no problem with that. The only issue that we have and that we have to keep in mind, and I actually had this conversation with Flux Revived on YouTube, is it makes it hard for us to put that in the game because we have ESRB ratings. So it's difficult for us to say, let me throw in this video where we are a teen rating or whatever, and we have a person that has F-bombs all throughout their content. So if it's on our social channels and not in game, it's a little different. So that's obviously some issues there. And then obviously people that do the witch hunting or discrimination or name shaming, these are the same things that'll get you banned on Twitch. So or YouTube. So we're definitely not going to be promoting folks like that at all. And then I was speaking to the community team. We have about 15 individuals that watch a variety of regions, streams, platforms. We watch YouTube gaming. We watch Twitch. Starting to see some Facebook Live stuff. We're actually streaming on Facebook right now. So we're definitely aware all over of where people are doing awesome stuff when it comes to Twitch.
Yep.
And then the other thing that's important is player reports. And in-game chat and behavior in game. So that can obviously be detrimental as well. We know. Don't think we don't know. We know.
Got the naughty list. Got the naughty list just year-round, not only in December.
So inviting folks out to Epic. Now, you guys have been out to open beta event and both been out for separate streams.
Correct.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
here for Grim.
Yep.
Which one do you come out for?
Kwong.
Kwong?
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Kwong and Grim. So Fizz was one of the first.
Yeah,
That's right.
It
That
feels like
OG.
it's been a journey.
Yeah.
at this point. It's,
Yeah.
It's pretty cool, actually. It definitely feels good being a part of it since the early days.
Yep.
I mean, obviously, you guys have been here longer than I have, but
Yeah. So I mean, we do everything when it comes to invitations. Ed mentioned forum goers, and we've offered invitations, extended invitations to people on YouTube, on Twitch, on the forums, on Reddit, in the competitive group of folks that are playing in PCL and previously PCS or some of the other tournaments.
Yep.
Cosplay, artists, even third-party API developers. Spiffy and Jamie.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
were
That's right.
out here
Yep.
for the open beta event. Spiffy,
Yep.
if you guys don't know who that is, he does Gore GG, which I know a lot of community members use the third-party API developers either check your stats, check your ELO. I know what you guys are doing. Check the
You have your match history there.
match
You have,
history, that's
some-
stats, all
Mhm.
types of stuff. I mean, they do fantastic work that we like to recognize as well, and they contribute so much externally to the game that it just again benefits everyone. I think.
Definitely.
Right.
So when it comes to invitations out to Epic, basically it's outstanding contributions to the community, consistently helping out other community members, and then constructive discussion on how we can improve Paragon. That's basically our basis for inviting people to Epic HQ. European teams, and Epic HQ, mind you, is typically North American only, or basically North American only. But the European teams hold similar events over there, and so they've done things with folks in Berlin, in France, in the UK, and I actually went to a London event. It was one of the very first ones back during the OTs.
Oh yeah, that was a
and
while
got
back.
to meet
Mhm.
RGS Ace, Beanhead, the two angry guys, Adam and this is Bongay, and I can't remember the other guy's handle. Fantastic guys, but they're also doing events over there as well. So
Yep.
same philosophies, just different territories. And then the same way that we have reasons for why we do Twitch, we have reasons for inviting people out to Epic. The first one that I think is very, very good, and the process has changed since you guys have even been invited, but it really keeps us grounded in understanding what the community or how the community views the current game, and then when they see things that we're working on, they go, "Oh, well,
Just all makes sense.
that makes sense
Yeah.
now."
Yeah.
Right.
And so we get reactions to what we're doing. Currently, we get reactions to what's coming in the future, and then they get to hear about some really, really future plans, and it goes, "Okay, now I kind of get it." And it's a great opportunity for the development team to make those face-to-face connections with, some of you guys met Steve,
Yeah.
Cameron, some of the hero designers. We did that panel with the designers
That was awesome.
when you guys were out here.
Absolutely.
So it's an opportunity for the team to connect with people in the community and for the community to connect with people on the team. And it gives you guys more insight into what we're doing and why we're driving some of the decisions that we're making.
Yep.
And then last thing I got here is spotlighting community members. And I mentioned this before, but the ESRB rating and toxicity is definitely a factor in that as well.
Mhm.
Now we are on to the discussion about YouTube. And I'm going to just go ahead and ask you some questions, Nabori,
Sure.
about what your goals were with establishing your channel and some of your philosophies around building out your channel and what you're trying to accomplish.
Definitely.
So how'd you get started?
Sure.
And what are you trying to accomplish when you make your videos and you get on there and you're like, "Hey guys, today I'm testing out this new build."
Yeah. It's all crit. No, I'm just kidding. No, it was definitely, you know, I was at the time when I first started, you know, it was way back 2013. I was doing other stuff, and it just didn't pan out. So I kind of let it by the wayside. And you know, Paragon came out, and I was like, oh, like I really want to build a community around this, and I really enjoyed it. So started that out. You know, kind of did like a, you know, what is Paragon video? My first Paragon video, kind of like describe it, and that's when it really stemmed for that. Started doing builds once a week. I was working 4 jobs at the time, so it was kind of hard to get content as consistently as I am now. But it's always that goal of what can I do that's different, or try that's different, but still make it valid for people to try too. I do some silly things like crit decker and stuff. It does work, okay, a little bit, right? But that's, you know, generally just if I can make someone's day better in general, I made it.
So for you, have you always had the mindset of like, I wanted to do this as a career, or was it more like, man, this is just fun, I like playing games, let me show off this and entertain people?
I mean, I've always loved entertaining people in general, but I mean, before all this, you know, I was in the State Trooper Academy, so quite a different switch.
Yeah.
But you know, definitely grew into something that I had a huge passion for. I've always had passion for games all my life, so it's always been something there. I want to do something with games, but definitely sparked it up. And just I saw, you know, people responding to the comments and enjoying my content. So yeah.
Then something kind of just triggered those, like, hey, I can do something with this. That's awesome, man. That's awesome.
Okay. Ed, I know you've also done quite a few YouTube things in your day.
Yep.
What was your mentality kind of when you got started with your videos?
Yeah, so very very similar to Nabori. I think when I had started getting involved with YouTube, it was pure hobby, just something that I really enjoyed. I started looking into. I still remember back in the day. This is like for any of the console players out there, if you guys remember, like the Dazzle capture card days.
Yeah. Remember that red Dazzle?
So for those of you guys who don't know, most of you guys do know, Arctic was a professional Gears of War player, so he knows all about the console stuff. Gears 1 back in the day, like all the like editing videos in Windows Movie Maker at the time. This is like, there was no Vegas, or at least anything that I could reach out and grab.
I couldn't afford Vegas at the time.
Heck no, you kidding me? I think at the time, actually, I was like
a broke college kid.
Oh yeah, and I was a junior in high school at the time when I had started, and I was working like a part-time job at GameStop, and it was just a hobby, man. I loved gaming, and started diving into what was this world of YouTube at the time, or growing world of YouTube, and it was just something that captured me, and I've always been a people person. I've always liked interacting with people, and I kind of just was able to put 2 and 2 together. I was like, hey, I can show off some stuff that I'm very passionate about, right? I just remember endless gaming nights where I was up to like 3-4 in the morning, just like playing my console games. My mom's yelling at me to like go to sleep, stop playing.
It's so loud.
But you know what? At the end of the day, and I think even now, I'm the one who's like kind of smiling, looking at my mom like, hey, so I'm working at Epic Games now, and this all kind of stemmed from this very big passion that I had for gaming, and that evolved into YouTube, that evolved into me becoming a part of a community, that evolved into a relationship that I developed with Arctic. This was for a separate game at the time, but I believe that we actually started talking because of a piece of content that I had made specifically for another game title at that time.
Yeah.
And I had posted it on Reddit, and you actually reached out to me directly, and you were just like, hey, this is an awesome video and whatnot. And I was just like, for me at the time, especially KL being someone who's been around since like super early, I was very new to the scene, still trying to figure, I'm like recording stuff in 360p, very poor quality.
I know, he did call me old.
I did not call him. Okay, so I did not.
Tori's off camera right now. She was like, I just called him. He was like, he's old.
She's trying to start stuff over there. She's trying to start stuff over there.
If Colin were on stream, Colin Skyless, one of our competitive designers, he would talk about my gray hairs. I have 3. 3 gray hairs.
Now I'm going to be looking.
So, anyway. Oh, sorry.
So, anyways.
Shots fired, right?
It's actually kind of funny that Tori mentioned that because today is Tori's birthday. So
Yeah, when she comes on, I already
when
told
she
her.
comes on, you guys better.
Happy birthday, Tori.
That's right. We're gonna do some stuff for her. So, anyways, yeah, that's kind of like just how it started off, and it evolved into a career. Though I'm working at Epic Games now and doing something. So, for those of you out there who are just you have a passion for gaming in general, and you're just like, yeah, this is really cool. I think I could do it, but I don't know if it's worth the effort. I don't know if I can actually make it, sort of thing. I was just a high school kid with a part-time job at GameStop, and it just slowly evolved into this. So you can absolutely do it, absolutely. And that's kind of why we wanted to put on this community workshop and talk through some things and help you guys grow.
The thing about YouTube is you can do so many different avenues with that. I mean, there's people that like, hey, I want to make a montage of just cool plays, or
absolutely.
Then the other scale of that to me is like, I feel so passionate about this one subject that I want to just
talk about
about it and just give a space to people to respond or talk back. So
right.
it's
So Fizz, you probably have the most similar path of content creation in general and being involved in Twitch and YouTube as me as possible. So I'm gonna let you talk first about what you kind of do on YouTube when you do post, when you decide to post.
We're talking YouTube.
YouTube, YouTube specifically.
So I mean, my YouTube content has been kind of all over the place, and I would like to be able to do more with Paragon. The reason I haven't is it's a lot to dissect for like what I'm trying to do with it, and some of the things that I have posted on there was like the really early video with Nazgul of like, how to block minions and stuff, nerdy little things like that. The other stuff that I really feel passionate about is like getting the community involved, and I've commentated over some like, I got 5 viewers in and they played against another 5 viewers and just commentate over their plays and talk about like, hey, why this isn't working, why is this game stalling out for so long and stuff like that, to kind of help them, and then they go back and rewatch that, or somebody else can rewatch that and learn from that, and then just normal replay review. But the point where I'm like trying to figure it out is a Paragon game can be like 30 minutes, sometimes more, and stuff like that. And I used to do this with Halo videos back in the day, and I would turn a 10-minute match into a 40-minute review. So I mean, you can expect like a 30-minute game would, So I'm just trying to figure out how how do I do this without making it so bland that I put people to sleep, but like also give them the information that they want.
Right.
So. I really want to do more YouTube videos, and I definitely expect to see that out there, But
I want to see some of those montages, some
Yeah.
Fizz montages. I've seen some of those.
There's some plays.
I've seen some Fizz montages
they're
in my day. So for me, I got into YouTube. Man, I
actually lurked some of your YouTube videos in the past. There.
I'm gonna throw it out. Okay, 2006. That's when I had my YouTube channel.
Okay.
So it's like around the same time that Google bought YouTube is when I started on YouTube. And this is again, old man Arctic. I had to at the time. It's much different now, but I actually had to manually apply in order to get a partnership, which they stopped doing. I don't know, 2013, 2012. I don't know, maybe even a little bit sooner than that. But I think 2009, I had to put in a partnership request, and they had to review it. That was a 6-month review process.
Wow.
And then I was approved to be a partner in like summer of 2009, or it might have been early 2010. So my path to that mostly stemmed from my interest in competitive gaming.
Right.
And I had been competing for a really long time, up until basically my, how old was I? Maybe my junior year of college, more or less. And so I went from playing Unreal Tournament to like Call of Duty stuff to Gears of War, and then Major League Gaming at the time, got involved with that. And I said, well, hey, we're one of the pro teams. There's nobody else really doing this.
Right.
Why don't I just start making some YouTube videos? And so I started uploading matches, and people started watching. But like some of the matches, like I had, even before I had the Dazzle, I had like a handheld camera.
Oh man, we're taking it back.
no.
We're taking it
I
back.
had a handheld camera that was over the shoulder that would look at the screen.
What?
Yeah. And I had to cut that with Windows Movie Maker. And so I learned all my editing from Windows Movie Maker. And now I can basically whip something together like super quick in Adobe Premiere. But it all started from that, and that's the biggest thing I think with YouTube in general. It's like or Twitch or just content creation is you just have to do it.
Yeah.
All too often, I think the biggest thing that holds people up is they'll say, "Oh no, I need this, this, and this,
laundry list of everything.
and this because I saw this thing." In order for me to get started, and it's like, nah, you really only need like
You
two
just click
things.
the button and
Yeah.
it
And you
turns,
just at this point in time, you can almost just click a button and get started with streaming. So, for me, it was about my initial goal was about showcasing high level play. Didn't really have any aspirations for doing anything other than that because I was posting very sporadically back in 2006. So we play a match and I post it. Didn't really mean anything because there was not like an official tournaments section or anything like that. And so over time I started to go, oh, this actually has some merit to it. And that must have been like 2 years later, after being on the competitive scene for so long, I started to understand how sponsorships work. We actually had at the time Astro Gaming had these tags that they would give out.
The speaker tags.
The speaker tags if
yep.
your team was a pro team or if they won an event. And so we won an event, and so we got our own little custom tags for Gears of War. And
Fun fact, KL's team actually had some exclusive, I think it was your guys' team branding, ZYN, like official gamer pictures in the Xbox Live
Xbox
store.
Live store.
I had
Yeah.
the ZYN gamer picture as my gamer
Oh,
picture
good.
at some point way back in the
Yeah,
day.
we did. So-
You learn something new every day. don't
Yeah,
you?
when Xbox Live had gamer pictures, which I think they still do. I actually, if you go to my profile right now, you can actually see it.
The ZYN?
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
okay.
So I started to understand the inner workings of like sponsorships and how branding your channel in a way helps that because you can win a tournament, but then when people say, "Hey, what's your fan base like?" It's like, well, I don't actually know what that is, and so over time it was like, oh, well, we could have our team channel, and then we could have a personal channel where I do stuff, and then it was like, oh, the light bulb went off. It was like, oh, I could be doing this, and this.
Yep.
And before you know it, I mean, I ended up working with Razer, helped develop the Sabertooth controller, and it all spawned from just playing competitively and having that goal in mind. And then it was, oh, well, I can use this to brand. And then I got the partnership, and then it just all made sense. So the path for me was very structured in that way.
I think there's absolutely some connection there as far as determining what sort of content creator you are. Like you said, the thing that drove you was the competitive stuff, correct?
Oh, yeah.
But I noticed, thinking back on like some of my earlier days, especially of YouTube in general and content creation, like I said, it started off as just a hobby. I kind of had this problem where I didn't know who I wanted to be. That's kind of the beauty, right, of like of having your channel, showing off what content you want to show off, what sort of personality you want to have. There's guys out there who are just very, very strong personalities,
Definitely.
right? Whether that be super funny guys or what have you. There's other guys who are on the opposite end of that spectrum. Think more like the Fizzes of the world, who are more like MLG breakdown, competitive breakdown of X gameplay. And I think when I finally sat down and decided, hey, this is what I'm going to be, I really started seeing a lot more linearity in my content. Everything was starting to match up a little bit better. I started developing that following that was like, this is the guy that I go to for this sort of content.
Yeah.
And not, I go to this guy and he's funny one day, super serious the next day, competitive the next day. And when I kind of determined like who it was that I was, I started seeing that growth. So I think that is something
And
that's really important.
that's a great point. And I would love to hear your guys' take on developing authentic personality versus online persona
Definitely,
versus just being 100% non-authentic to who you are. How do you guys feel like that affects like the type of content you make? Because, I'm pretty laid back, but we always talk about this before the stream. It's like when I'm on camera, I'm much louder
Right.
and like I'm more animated, but I'm pretty reserved in general. So I think there's a definitely a persona thing. I'd love you guys to talk about developing that.
Yeah.
I think Nabori has more of a persona than I do. I'm pretty chill as it comes, you know. Like, I truthfully, I have a really hard time adding that or just being something like a little different. And on stream, I probably have a little bit more energy because you know you're in front of people. And you see somebody and you don't want to just be like, oh, what up? You want to, how's it going, man? Welcome. You know?
Yeah.
So there's a little bit of that, but I pretty much I'm the same on camera as I am off camera, and I think like these guys will note to that. And then Nabori brings some energy.
So you're kind of more true to yourself, sort of thing. Like who you are in real life is who you are on camera, even if it's a little bit more.
Yeah, I guess
animated.
so. I definitely know what you're talking about though, where it's like. I think one thing that I'm personally struggling with a little bit is trying to like guide my content to be like, what do I want? You know what I mean? Like, I can try to be funny, but that's not my go-to. You know, so it's like just trying to shape like that consistent content that is also not only valuable to the community, but comfortable to myself, to where you can, hey, I can do this every day. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
So that's a big thing. I don't know if that kind of covers like what you.
Sure,
yeah.
sure it does. I think so.
Yeah, I mean, I would say it's, you know, knowing who you are, and then kind of like Ed says, kind of figure out who you want to be, like, you know, your persona or so.
Yeah.
But still be true to yourself. That's
Yeah.
the biggest thing, and people can spot that. You know, hey, you're this way, and then you're this way. Like you were saying in different videos, you got to have that. You know, people come to expect something from you, whether it's your gameplay or whatever, but. It's consistency. It's everything that you know, as a content creator or someone that's trying to get into it, really be consistent with things, and it gets easier over time.
Yeah.
But it's, you know, I think everybody, you know, like you were saying too, you get a little hyphy when you're, you know, in front of everybody, and I think everybody tends to be that way. You know, you get that way too.
Oh yeah. I mean, especially when it starts bouncing back and forth with the chat, you know what I mean?
Definitely.
Like big play comes in, a bunch of emotes, a bunch of, you know, like,
For sure.
And it's fun, man. Streaming is really fun, and definitely YouTube tied in with that too. But it's I don't know. Nabori and I played a game. Do you remember this on Legacy? And he didn't tell me he was recording.
Oh yeah, that was great.
That was the best.
Go look it up. It's on there.
He just went ahead and put it on YouTube, and I was like, oh, all right, you know. But it was fun. We won and we did work. And, you know, he was Chimera, I think, and I think I played Twin Blast or something. I don't know.
Okay.
It was good.
You hit on something that I want to talk about with this, and we're going to try to go a little bit faster just so we can talk through some Twitch stuff. But consistency. You said that word, consistency.
Right.
And it's one of these, I almost call it a trope at this point, because you hear so many times people talk about consistency. But there really is value behind it. But what types of things do you do to kind of keep yourself consistent with your content?
I actually have a whiteboard in my room that I record in.
There we go.
And I have goals on there, and I've, not to sound weird or anything, but I've hit them. So, you know what I'm saying? Kind of obtainable goals and then unobtainable goals. So you have a list of things you want to do, and the more you see that, the more you're apt to be like, hey, what can I do to reach this goal? What can I do to this? I used to write down, you know, builds that I wanted to do on the whiteboard, videos, and try to work on those.
I love
things
that.
like that. It's the biggest thing.
That's the type of stuff
You wake
that
up,
I
you
like.
see it. It's like, oh, all right, I gotta get at this today.
No, that is the stuff that starts to really grow your channel upwards, and I'm sure you've noticed it and feel it, you know, and I'll say I think that's my weakest point is consistency is when so I try to find that. But the one thing that I try to bring too is like I think it's a balance. You know, you can easily overwork yourself in a way to you want to make sure that every time you're putting something out there, it feels genuine and it feels good, rather than like, oh, it's 3 o'clock, gotta put the, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's I have a hard time doing that. But if I don't know, I'm just trying. That's something I know I'm trying to work on.
It's definitely a life balancing act.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
you can get burned out on anything that you do if you do too much and you're not enjoying it. I think one of the things I noted with consistency was these guys know I was streaming every day in the morning from 6. He knows from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m.
I was
and then I come
going to work for a full day.
For a full day. Then I come home, spend time with my family, go to sleep, wake up, do the same thing. And then as soon as Paragon launched, I was like, sorry, I'm not getting up at 6 to stream. And it's just like I enjoy doing that, but you have to know your limits and your boundaries.
Definitely.
And being consistent with what you want to do. I love the board because I do something very similar.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have a couple of different methods. One is I determine the type of content that I want to make.
Okay.
And then the second thing I do is I plot out schedules on what is going what day. So in order for me to remain consistent, especially if I've taken a break, because I'll take breaks periodically now, I will do the visualization. This is what I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And then I will map out what content would fit where. And then I'll say, all right, when can I actually fit these all in based on my schedule?
Definitely.
So I'll do like a weekend session where I play a few games and then I record and then I edit on the weekend and then I go boom, scheduled, boom, scheduled, boom, scheduled. Okay, I'm done this week. But that schedule helps you maintain focus.
Definitely.
It really does.
Definitely.
And it's one of the things that if you are driven to achieve whatever it is you're trying to achieve in that space, creation, art, whatever, having that focus really helps hone what you're doing.
For sure.
We talked about personality. Ed, did you want to add something?
Just really quick, I think that there's something that I really like about what Nabori was pointing out was just having your milestones laid out in front of you visually. It's one thing to think about them and say,
It's very easy to forget,
I'd
too, though.
love
Yeah, it
to.
is.
I'd love to have 1 million subscribers one day, but I have 2 right now. I have 2 of my best friends who are my only subscribers on YouTube, right? And it's one thing to tell yourself that. It's a totally different thing to map it out, put it in paper or on a whiteboard or open a Google document or something of the sort and throw something on there and say, set these realistic milestones for yourself. And once
Definitely.
you start hitting them, it feels great,
Oh,
right? I mean,
yeah,
doesn't it?
it's-
You
You're like,
just
what more
pointed
can I
out. You
do?
were like, hey,
it's
I laid out these goals for myself, and you said, yeah, sorry, I don't mean for this to come off as cocky or whatnot, but I hit those goals, right? There's no reason to apologize for you. You set a goal for yourself, and it probably felt great when you surpassed them,
And the
right?
biggest thing is you can't get discouraged.
Right.
Definitely.
So
And there will comes times of that, too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's, like you said, you take periodic breaks. Like, I get frustrated. Everybody gets frustrated at games when you're playing.
Yep.
You know, take a break. I go to the gym or something. You know what I mean? It's find
It
something else
happens.
to do.
Yep. And now we talked about a little bit about software, hardware, talking about Premiere, Windows Movie Maker. This is just some of the stuff for YouTube that I've used. I know there's just so much you can do now. You can do online video editing. That was not a thing, man.
No.
Jeez, I wish it was. Anyway, so I use Adobe Premiere. Nabori, are you a Premiere?
I used Vegas for
Vegas?
a long time, and then I switched to Premiere, and
Oh,
probably the
yeah.
best decision
Clint
I've
all-
ever made.
We have Clint over on the side here saying he's all about Premiere as well. I'm a Vegas guy myself. What about you, Fizz? Because we're 2-1 right now. What?
I've always used the Adobe stuff.
Hey,
Okay.
there you go.
All right.
Adobe Premiere.
I'm holding the L
So
on this one.
software, Adobe Premiere.
Sorry, man. It's okay to be different.
In some cases, if you are handling a lot of video and it's super intense, you could have a PC capable of handling editing. Don't necessarily need something super crazy. You can Google that stuff. And then I personally have a 5 terabyte external hard drive that I put all my footage on. I'm sure most of you probably
that as
have
well.
storage devices as well.
Yep.
Capture card if you're playing on PS4. If you're on PC, you can also have a capture card, but most of the time it's almost internal at this point. You can download OBS, or you can use NVIDIA's built-in software to capture stuff. Then at that point, it's just like you just start.
Yeah.
Now, one discussion I want to have before we switch to some not so common advice and then Twitch. Check our time. We're still good. We're good. Is this notion of quality.
Yeah.
And I don't want people to think about quality in terms of like visual quality. This is a discussion that I want to have around the quality of your content in general. So when you set goals, I always have a bar, right? For
sure.
We always have this bar. For me, some of the things that I think about are, when it comes to quality of discussion, would be like, what is going to be the most topical that will have people in the comments commenting on this video? 'Cause
Definitely.
I've now been doing this so long, I don't care about views. I don't care about any of that. I have specific goals that I want to accomplish with each of my videos. So if there's a video I want to discuss and I want people to have a free-flowing content, the quality of discussion in my video it's going to try to spark as much discussion as possible.
Sure.
So what types of quality bars do you guys set for yourselves when you put stuff out?
I mean, there's a mixture of stuff, like just going throughout a day of streaming, really just trying to, for me, it's like, a play happens and we'll just kind of talk about it for a little while. And I try to just maintain like a healthy conversation, like there's a little back and forth of it. And it's just like that for me is something that especially for the type of content that I do, like I genuinely enjoy seeing that, because that's players or viewers starting to use their head a little bit and think like, hey, am I really doing the best thing? Is this, or what can we do here? Or, or just like that check mark of like, yeah, no, we got this, like, whether it be the way you position yourself or the way you're building or the way that you're handling around your teammates, or even dealing with the unknowns of like a teammate that is just having an off day and really caught you up. I get some people that are like, oh man, I'm so sad about this game, and then it's like, take a step back, realize like maybe that person just had a rough day and you're about to go into another game and really create a positive environment there. So there's just healthy discussion on that type of level is like what I like, kind of what it's like to be the day-to-day player of playing Paragon or any game really, but I play Paragon, so,
Okay.
Yeah. I would say it's, quality is going to be, the biggest thing of, like sparking up that question, at least, once in my videos or something, I'll be like, hey, I'll, ask the viewers, what do you
guys
think
of this build?
And, things of that in the comments, or, really analyzing your own mistakes in the video, not only, you don't want to really, hey, that person could do something better here, but not bring it to the toxicity level of blaming, because, you could have done something better, things like that. I try to, analyze what I did wrong rather than what other people did wrong in general. And it's just, I would say that's the best way to, get it going.
Yeah.
I think for me, quality-wise, I kind of come from the I've always been a gameplay person. Everybody enjoys. I'm not gonna say everybody. I won't speak in absolutes, but nobody complains when it comes to, like, everybody wants to be entertained, right? But people are entertained in different ways. Some people like the really strong personalities, like I said. Not all of us are blessed with these amazing, like, casting strong voices.
I can just turn it on.
Like, yeah, like
Shane.
Yeah,
Dang.
Shane, Notch, RGS Ace. These are some of the guys that come to mind.
Yeah.
Just there's a ton of other content creators out there. I don't have that. I was not blessed with that, unfortunately, but I do got some pretty solid hands, and I'm okay on the sticks. So I've always been like, I always kind of leaned more towards the educational route. So for me, determining quality, I'm the sort of person that's not very, I'm never content. I'm always looking for a way to do something better.
For sure.
And something that, especially early on, that I kind of like struggled with was I would try to hit these points. I would say, okay, I'm good at this video game, and I want to help others be good at this video game.
Yep.
People are watching me to get better at this video game. So I'm going to go ahead and break down this gameplay, hit some points, boom, 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 get done with the video, go ahead and watch it back. And I was never happy. I was always forgetting, like, little things. I was like, damn it, I missed this huge point that I really wanted to talk about. And because you're just kind of in the moment doing this live sort of thing. And something that really helped me out was having an actual, and this, Mooney still gives me crap for this to this day, because I'm the sort of person who will bust out a notebook and a pencil, and I just kind of walk around with it and I jot notes down all day. Mooney's very much like, that's what phones are for. You pull out Google Docs and stuff, So, but what I would do was I would just pull out a notepad and start taking notes, and I would just start looking over them as I was doing my commentary for my videos. I always did. I didn't do too many live gameplay commentaries, especially since I was more on the YouTube side. It was more rehearsed, if you will, in that sense. But having to increase the quality of my work, one of the steps that I took was laying everything out, writing it down, making sure that those big points that I really wanted to touch on that would really help people elevate their gameplay were written down, and I could look down at a physical piece of paper, and as I'm doing the commentary, remind myself, talk about this, talk about this, talk about this, underline things, circle them.
I can't tell you guys how many times I've gone through a video and then realized I forgot something, and then was like, I scrapped the entire content because I'm so mad.
Hours of work.
And I scrapped the entire thing. So like, I don't even make an edit. I'm like, no, I'm done.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's
no,
gotta be so many
Come
videos
back
they
to
did that
it. Come back
for.
to it when like ready to revisit it again.
yeah, it's like, no, I'm done.
I've had times where it's like, all right, you know, I'm just gonna go take a shower. I'll come back, like,
Yeah.
just like
Yep.
refocus and just like,
and,
you know.
and the worst, oh my God, the worst is, sometimes when I wake up on the weekends, I get up at like 8 o'clock. My daughter now gets up at about 8:30. Previously, she would get up at like 10. So what I would do is I would try to get a gameplay, record the gameplay, start my edit, and then if I swear to you guys, if I had too many mess ups and then my daughter gets up, I was so triggered for the rest of the day.
Day was
Because that
ruined.
means I did not finish the commentary, didn't finish
Yep.
the video. My family woke up and I had 18 takes because I
Yep.
messed up on 3 words and I was just like, oh, why?
Yep.
So yeah,
Definitely.
I know quality from that standpoint, that can be a very big hindrance, but it also helps you elevate, you know,
For sure.
what you're
Yep.
doing.
Absolutely.
Definitely makes you quicker at it.
And real quick, because I think we're gonna go just straight into Twitch and get Tori on here. The things that that can help you determine what your quality bars are. He hit some with gameplay. We talked a little bit about personality and discussion, but I kind of labeled them out and thinking about them. Discussion, could it be anything about, it could be topical. You could be an expert on a topic, or you could just do it so much that people consider you an expert on the topic. You could do gameplay, visual. Montages are a great way to get people interested when you set
Right.
your quality bar high. If you're the only one doing that, or if you're one of few consistently putting out montages, it's a great way to build
You just watch Ed's
an
stream.
audience.
It's pretty much a montage.
Montage City.
Well, yeah.
It could be personality. You know, you could be the PewDiePies of the world or the Naboris of the world, where
come on.
you showcase personality on your channel, and that's what draws people to you, be it humor or just general, you know, wit.
Yep.
And then gameplay. That's the one that you mentioned. It could be skill. So I think the biggest thing with skill when it comes to gameplay and establishing an audience is if there's an authoritative entity that then passes the torch to you. So an example for me was MLG was here at the time, and because I received pro status here, they passed the torch off, and then I became an authoritative figure,
Right.
and so it was able to help me grow my audience. So when you're thinking strategically about how you can have impact for your channel, you need to think in a ways that can kind of go along those quality bars of what you can achieve. And then some not so common advice. Language matters. And the example I always like to use whenever we talk about this is a lot of European content creators will make content in English because they get a bigger audience scope and people being able to understand what they're saying. So, you know, they might make some local regional videos, and then when they want to grow, they want to make English speaking videos. And this necessarily, that means that's what you need to do, but those are some strategies that you don't often hear people talk about. Titles, you'll hear people kind of mention this one. Attention grabber, search friendly, those are very important.
Right.
Viewership boost. This is, I think, one that a lot of people don't necessarily understand, but we were kind of talking about this a little
Right.
bit before we got started. When it comes to things that help you achieve viewership, the first to do something. If you're the first person to play a beta, first person to post a gameplay, first person to do a review, first person to have a build guide out on a hero, that's viewership and audience and people searching for those things.
Yep. Support
From a developer and publisher. You guys are here. This is that passing the torch. It paints a spotlight on you. So, you know, kind of getting, understanding what the developer is trying to accomplish, tweeting at some of the folks, community team members, dev team members, even emailing them if you can, just to show that you're interested in it.
Yep.
Different or unique spins on a popular topic. This is one that, you know, if you've been in the YouTube game long enough, you've seen people turn from the days of video reviews to all of a sudden there's like toy review channels and people buy a bunch of toys and kids play with toys now as a thing. I mean, that's YouTube Kids. My daughter watches YouTube Kids and they're playing with toys. I'm like, what are you doing? Oh, such and such is playing with toys. And we go into the store and she knows every single toy in the store. And I'm like, how do you know that? YouTube Kids. Okay. So, I mean, there's always a way to turn a popular topic. You know, we could do heroes and then We could have a topic of discussion about which heroes relate to ice cream. And then if that is your, or we could do food. You could. I mean, this is just some of the ideas I'm throwing out there. You know, you could do Countess is like strawberry.
Okay.
Yeah. You could
Orange Sherbet Rampage.
Yeah,
I'm
you could
just-
do Orange Sherbet Rampage, and then you could just talk about that, and then people go, "Man, this dude loves some food and Paragon." And
I
that's your
love food
channel,
and Paragon.
right? And then all of a sudden,
Wow,
you got
there's so much in common.
yeah, you got a week talking about.
Someone's making that right now.
Someone's making that
They
right
got
now.
it.
You got a week where someone is talking about all the heroes in food, and then they make a channel where every game they talk about is food, and they relate it to heroes.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just so many different things where you take a topic and then you make it unique and different, and then people go, man, that was actually really cool and compelling and different. Third-party developer information. And I don't think people necessarily think about this, but I want you to think in the context of, you know, the Paragon GG, Agora GG, Fury, where you can look at stats, because we don't currently have them, but you could look at stats and you can say, well, this week, Twin Blast is the most popular carry. So it would probably be in my best interest to make some Twin Blast guides, because we see a lot of people in this, and this range playing the hero. That's a good way to say, man, there might be people actually searching for how to play this.
Definitely.
And then I talked about authority on a topic, but you know, if you're in the competitive scene and you're not making content, I tried to tell this to those guys back in Gears days. Very few of those guys listened to me. We would have these roundtables where we're talking with Major League Gaming, and they kind of had these, very much what we're doing right now, but they had these groups where, you know, they would say, hey, it's like a player relations. What are you guys trying to accomplish? What are the things that you're doing? How can we help? What can you do better? And I was one of the guys that would tell some of the guys that are not playing now or wanting to crack the industry. It's like, man, you guys really should be making content right now. You should be doing videos. You should be doing guides. You should be writing stuff. And like, so few of them listen. And then they look, and the ones that did, I mean, I know guys that are all in the industry now because of that passion that they had there.
Right.
So, you know, I really can't express enough, if you are involved in the competitive scene and you become authoritative figure, that weight is significant, as you guys know, in a lot of other popular titles right now, especially when it comes to esports. And then we could talk about variety creators versus growth around the game, but I want to get Tori on to talk about that.
Yeah, definitely.
And we'll talk a little bit about Twitch stuff. So
Absolutely.
little brief break, and we'll be right back with Tori to talk through Twitch. All right, we are back.
Hey.
And we got Tori up here. Tori,
Hi.
How
you doing?
How you doing, birthday girl?
It's not my birthday.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
How does it
No, it
feel
really is,
to
though.
have a birthday on this day? The day of all days.
It's exhilarating.
Just kind of
She
laid
sounds
back,
so-
chill day.
So
Yeah.
excited.
Yep.
Has it always been
Really
so
laid back.
Really laid back,
Yeah.
chill day?
Yeah, really chill day.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
So,
Hey guys, what's up? I'm Misty.
Tori was on the Paragon team before we started picking up with our Fortnite activities
Yep.
recently. Now she is the community coordinator for Fortnite, and she will be. You guys have already had some streams where you've been on for
Mhm.
Fortnite, but
Yep.
a lot of the same mentalities. This is just when I got here, we were really trying to hammer home on this, and previously with Will and Stacy, iFlack, we're focusing a lot on how we build up community. What is a community? What would great look like for Epic Games community? I think it's a lot of our discussions, right? So Tori has been streaming for a really long time.
So I've been streaming for about 2.5 years. A little less than that, I think. And I've been partnered for about 2 years.
2 years. Yeah.
Yep. I actually only
still
have
your
been
grandpa,
streaming
yeah.
like 1.5 years of that though because I took a big break.
You did. That's
I
right.
did.
Yeah.
I did. So, trying to rebuild now. It's going well.
I know,
It's pretty difficult.
I've been
That's
seeing it.
actually part of part of the conversation.
Yeah, sure.
The consistency and staying consistent and continuing to create content. So I took a break for about 1 year, and I noticed a huge drop. I stream on Twitch. I don't do YouTube. I stream on Twitch, but I noticed a huge drop in subs, viewers,
Yeah.
people who would host me, everything. And
I
I
know
like I
that
kind of
feeling.
expected it, but at the same time,
Definitely.
like it was a really big hit, and I'm basically not necessarily having to build from the ground up, but it almost feels like it.
Mhm.
So even though I wasn't there for about 1 year, I still had people who were sub to me, which is, by the way, is like completely
I
insane.
know, it's amazing.
But
I have people.
what,
That's awesome.
you're probably the same way too, right?
Yeah, I mean, I stream like once a month now, like
Yeah.
if that.
You still have people sub to you, right?
I still have people sub.
Yeah.
Great
It's
support.
insane.
I know. Twitch community is awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And then they come by sometimes, or they like tweet you, and they're like, "Hey, what's up, man?
Yeah.
Hope you're doing well.
Yep.
But
Still sub to you after
I'll-
7 years."
I'll ask you this though, Tori. Doesn't it have like a? Because I know I kind of went through like a similar thing. Like I've taken a lot of breaks actually through whole streaming and stuff. Like I started in 2011 and just been like on and off. Sometimes I took breaks to go to school or do other things, and then coming back, you definitely have that feeling of like having to rebuild it. And then
Oh, yeah.
obviously with some people that are still there, which is awesome. But it's got like a nice revitalized feel to it,
Yeah.
Because you
Yeah.
kind of have this like. Okay, I've been here. I've done this. I kind of know what I
I know
want
what
to
I-
do.
yeah, yeah.
And it
Yeah.
feels good in a way.
It's kind of weird too because taking a break as long as I did, it felt like Twitch didn't really change per se. Like
Yeah.
it was still the same thing. Like you were still playing games, you're still talking to people, interacting with people, and building a community, but it had changed.
Yeah.
All the games that people were playing were different. There were a ton of more people on the site. Twitch had all these new features and all this new stuff, and it just it was completely different. So
Yeah.
coming back is kind of like, oh wow,
That's
I need to learn how to ride the horse again.
It's I just have trouble now streaming because of family, but it is. I don't think people realize how difficult it actually is to stream for so long in order to build an audience. But
definitely.
once you get into that rhythm, man, oh
Yeah.
man, it can be such a fun experience. One of the things that I have always struggled with, and this goes on YouTube, sort of on Twitch, but at a point I just was like, I don't care, is the notion of building an audience around a game versus a Carnage, great dude, is like right. He's right in our area too. He's
Yep.
been out at Epic before, but if you go to listen to any of his panels, which he's done at TwitchCon a couple times, you'll hear him talk about riding the wave. And for variety streamers, they like to ride the wave, right?
Yep.
And so what that means is essentially if you when we talk about the viewership boost, I mentioned first to do something. Riding the wave is basically the first wave of streaming for a new game that comes out. And so there's essentially two ways you can build an audience on Twitch, or really on any platform and medium. Is you can do growth around a specific thing, target a specific game, or IRL at this point, or something else. Or you can do it around variety content.
Social eating.
Right, social eating. You guys heard it. The
I'm
hero.
gonna do that in the morning.
I know. You're going to make a video. I know you are.
You don't wanna
Somebody
see me
needs
eat
to
a lot
beat
of food.
him to that before he does it. But no. It is so difficult to, once you get involved in a game, and if that fire isn't there for the lifespan of the game, when you want to transition, oh my God, it's so rough. It's
Yep.
just
Definitely.
like
Yep.
picking up in streaming and just dropping everything and saying, okay, I've not streamed for a year and I want to get started in this. It's the same way when you go to a new game.
Yeah.
And so for us, we've been trying to determine how we can help transition people in our community that are trying to make that transition. As much as we all love Paragon, I will be the first person to tell, and you guys have heard me say this multiple times, look, if you guys need a break, if you guys want to play a different Unreal Engine game, I can try to make that happen early so you guys can be the first. Or so that some of those developers that love Unreal Engine say, man, they have Fizz, who has almost 30,000 followers. He wants to play our game.
Yeah.
And then we say, yep, from a developer relations standpoint and how we build community, we have a community relationship with developers. We have a community relationship with players. And so for us, it puts us in a great position to be able to help support streamers, but also support developers and getting exposure for their games. So when it comes to riding the wave and being in that space, oh man, some of our creators are in for a lovely treat when it comes to what we're working on. We mentioned Fortnite, but there's Spyjinx, there's Battle Breakers, there's Unreal Tournament. Some of you guys might not even have heard some of those other games, but and then there's Paragon, and it's like you have so many options inside of Epic's family of games that it makes that process a lot easier.
Yeah, and I know that you guys sort of talked about this a little bit earlier as far as like why people watch specific content or specific YouTube videos.
Yep.
It's it's either the skill or it's the personality
Yep.
or it's the game that they're playing or whatever, and having a balance of at least a couple of those things is always really good, because for me personally, I know that I could play, different genres and sort of get the same, viewership, but it'll drop a little, it'll
Yep.
fluctuate a little. But I know that core audience is still going to be there. And I know that, like, YouTube is kind of like the same way.
for
Like,
sure.
the people that, for instance, PewDiePie, like, he makes videos on every game in the world ever, and he still has generally the same amount of views.
Yeah,
So.
and that's built around personality. More,
Right.
I mean, he started off with games in general,
Right, right.
and now he does all types of stuff.
Yep.
So when you really break down and think about how a lot of these folks are doing things, it's very structured. When you mention someone like PewDiePie, it's very methodical and planned and organized, and he has an ability to grab a lot of attention. But that goes for a lot of folks that have been doing this a long time. A good buddy of mine, Gold Glove, has been out here to multiple events for us. Him and I kind of had the same path when it came to being involved with Gears, doing YouTube stuff. Watching him talk about YouTube and or Twitch, you hear a lot of the same things. So yeah, I think it would be a tragedy if so many people didn't have the structure and foresight to do that, because there would be so much wasted potential. Now, when it comes to Twitch, what do you feel like are the things that, and this kind of goes for all of you guys, what do you guys feel like are the things that you can really, really focus in on in order to be impactful when it comes to live viewing?
That's a broad topic. I mean, there's so many different things. What do you mean? Like, explain that a little bit. Like,
So, for YouTube, I think some of it overlaps, but do you feel like there's anything specific that can only be captured in a live viewing experience that makes it so that
It's unique.
it's unique for you?
For I mean, I like chat interaction. I think that's really fun. I mean, you can do that on Twitch. It's I mean, or any streaming platform really. But I just like being able to connect with the people there in the chat. Like if there are people watching now and they just want to post a "Hey guys" in the chat and just
Hey guys. Hey
or
chat.
maybe a
Hey
kappa,
chat.
Hey
or
chat.
just making sure we're still alive. Just anything that shows a little bit of life, and that interaction is fun because you always get to see. I have regular people that just stop my stream, and I'm always like, "Hey, man, how's it going? Are you doing all right today?" Just see what's going on. So, but I don't know if there's anything you guys feel like adding to that.
I was going to say chat interaction as well.
Definitely.
I feel like you can build communities on YouTube, but I don't want to say easier, but it's a lot more effective to build communities on Twitch. Because you're actually getting that personal interaction with people.
Yeah.
And, you can say it's over text all you want, but welcome to the internet.
Yeah.
Like, it's,
Totally.
and it's, especially since we have things like Discord now and, everything like that, you're not only building communities, you're building friendships, and you're playing games with people all over the world.
One of the things I love about Twitch and chat is that if you, and it can happen on YouTube as well, but if you see someone that you recognize in chat from your chat, and then you go to someone else's stream and then you see them in there, it's like, oh, hey, what's up, dude?
Yeah.
And then you can just have that conversation with them. And a perfect example of this is Captain Junkie.
Oh yeah,
You know Captain Junkie.
Yeah.
He's everywhere.
I wonder if he's actually in here.
He's probably in here now. We can-
But he is literally everywhere, and you get folks like Narinder or some of these other guys in our own community, but they're literally supporting and viewing and watching everyone, and it makes it so much more community centric. It's like very tight knit, and it's very different from YouTube in that you might get some packs where you see this person with this person and this person, but it feels so separated.
You know what also ties that together is the emotes. Like if you bring emotes from Nabori's channel over, and it's got somebody just flexing in there, and you're like, oh yeah, that's the Nabori.
Yeah, or you post an emote and you're like, oh my god, where's that?
Yeah.
What channel is that from?
I need
to check that person out. Yeah.
I feel like I have like an arsenal of like just ready to go at any moment kind of thing. But definitely that feeling. And you know how I picture Junkie? I feel like he's got just like monitors everywhere.
Yeah.
He's got like 9 monitors.
Yeah. Just keep an eye on everything.
Yeah. So when it comes to chat interaction, just on stream, what do you guys kind of focus on? Is it just like topic of the day? Do you pick like I'm going to talk about gameplay, or do you just focus 100% on chat? What do you think is most effective?
I'd say both.
I think it depends on who you are too, right? I know that with Fizz, he kind of breaks down gameplay. And, like he's like a high level player, so he's able to do that.
Right.
Me, I'm not necessarily with Paragon, but with any game, right? Like I mean, I can hold my own.
I
but
went in there and Missy
can't.
was talking all about it.
She's downplaying her Halo skills.
Okay, no,
Yeah.
I'm okay. I'm
Yeah,
decent.
look,
I'm
did you see
decent
that?
at video
Well,
games.
okay, yeah, you're right. If I got on some Halo.
Okay, no, seriously, I'm decent at video games, but I can't analyze gameplay like these guys can, and so for me, it's more just, one-on-one with people in chat.
Right.
Hey, how are you doing? How was your day? Did you have a good weekend? Like, what'd you do today? Oh, you had a bad day? Like, what's up? Like, what happened? Like, actually building those relationships with people is, like, super big for me. And when I miss a message in chat, when I miss saying hi to somebody,
You feel bad?
I feel terrible.
Oh, they'll let you
And
know.
so, and so when there's spam in chat, I will purposely scroll back up and read through and make sure that I read everything, just to make sure that I responded to everything that I could.
Yeah.
And so
You
for me,
are-
that's like a big thing.
Yes, you are much better at it than me. I'm sorry for anyone that is
I
watching.
think you just have
I
a
miss a
better
lot. But here's what I do. I'm more like Fizz in that I'm thinking about gameplay.
Yeah.
And so, like, if I'm in and I'm more of the shooter guy by nature,
Right,
so, like,
yeah.
it's a lot easier for me to interact on shooters despite them being a little bit more twitchy, because I'm going to toot my own horn here.
Yeah.
When I get into shooters, I'm just going to wreck you. And so like I could take it
I'm
easy, and I
Are you
can.
calling a 1v1 right now?
I'm just gonna wreck you, and then I'm gonna look at chat and be like, "Hey guys, what's up?
Yeah.
Oh, let me
It gets like
dodge,
10 kills.
dodge,
yeah.
kill.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's great. I love
good?
that." So for me, I think it's a little bit easier, and my focus is a lot more on chat, depending on the
Right.
game.
Right.
So
There's-
that's definitely has a big impact on that.
There's like a couple different like modes I've been in, like where it's like sometimes and this I first started streaming playing Halo, so games were like 10-ish minutes long. Sometimes I'd be playing with buddies, and you know how call-outs are, like consistent and stuff.
Yep.
So being able to hit the chat was actually kind of difficult, but there's a couple different ways. It's like sometimes the game's a breeze, and you can just you can play and you can read and you can do both. If you're as good as Arctic, you can just kind of handle it. But other times it's like, all right, I'm going to focus on this game right here, and I'll either talk to the buddies that I'm in with it, or I'll just talk about like what I'm doing and just kind of keep conversation going, knowing that I can't read chat right now, and because it's difficult. It starts to get moving, and you really want to be able to put on like a good game and a good show while you're doing it. So the other thing is like in between games, I try to spend that time really just like
Connecting with chat.
Yeah.
That's
That's like the
exact same
makeup.
way.
It's so funny that you say like I want to put on a good game, and like
Yeah.
I'm sitting over here like I die every 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Like I have to entertain them some other way because I'm just
Yeah.
dying a lot.
Sometimes
so.
you can last hit some days, not even looking. Just,
Yeah,
you know,
right,
you're
yeah,
like
yeah,
this,
yeah.
and then other days you look away for a second,
just
and
can't
you
do
die,
anything,
and you're like,
yeah.
oh
Oh,
man,
man.
chat,
Yeah,
thanks
yeah.
for getting
Yeah.
me killed.
I can't tell you how many times I play like ranked in like any game ever, right? And it's like you go sweaty, super try hard.
Yep.
And I won't look at chat for 10 minutes, and then when I realize it, I'm like, oh no, what have I done? And then I feel bad, and
And
then
you're like,
I
"I'm
just
so
go back to
sorry,
talking to
guys."
chat again, yeah.
And then you just
Yeah.
your teammates.
And
hate
then
you.
I just play terrible in the game from there on
Yeah.
out. So
I understand. I was thinking about chat, and then I completely lost my train of thought.
It's all right.
Did you wanna say
we
hi
can
to
just do
chat?
another take of this.
No.
chat, we can say hi
Yeah.
to chat again.
No, I have to remember what I was thinking about.
I love reading chat. Like that's just. I mean, we don't have to. There's a lot of people in there now. I get it. I'm just saying like that. Just connecting with that and just seeing what's going on, and it's always fun. Seeing people show up, and just seeing people that you know. Kind of what you were talking about earlier. I'm probably throwing your train of thought way.
No,
off.
Yeah,
it's like
like,
I
are you
could go
okay?
into some other stuff, but I had a specific thing that I was thinking about when you mentioned talking to chat, and now I can't remember. That's gonna bother me.
Let's give
Sure,
it-
we'll come back.
Let's just give him it. He's got this.
I
No,
thought it
we
was
can't have
digging
this
deep.
awkward silence.
Yeah.
You can
I
just
don't want you
change-
guys
change
to
the
look
subject.
at me.
Come on,
Okay,
Kale.
sure.
Come on.
All right, we can change
You're
the
a community
subject.
person.
When it comes to partnerships
Mhm.
and approaching that, well, one, I want to mention that I think since we've launched, a lot of people that have started streaming on Paragon, I want to say we've had like 15 or 16 people partnered
It's been a lot.
on,
right?
maybe even more than that have just exclusively been playing Paragon. So shout out to all you guys. We work with Twitch to try to make sure that awesome people that are doing awesome stuff when it comes to that are being recognized. But when it comes to partnerships, what type of pursuit did you guys have? I mean, I had a very, very different situation because I was like on Ustream, and then I was on Ustream, Justin TV, and then
Yeah.
I went from Justin TV to Twitch, and I knew everybody. So it was just like, all right, Gears, you are partnered, and so I really didn't have to do anything. What's that process like now?
I mean, well, so I got partnered a little over 2 years ago. So even just 2 years ago, it
It's
was,
different.
way different
Yeah.
than, because I know you just got partnered a couple months ago.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
like 2 years ago, they actually just recently changed their guidelines too, as
Okay.
far as like what their requirements are to be considered to be partnered or
Right.
to be partnered. So when I started out streaming,
I'll
I
give you guys
had
a wink.
been streaming for 3 or 4 months, and then I got partnered after that.
Wow.
But it was I sort of started it with the goal of getting partnered. It wasn't like I'm just gonna try this thing out. Like when I started streaming, I went hard. Like I started streaming when I had, I think, 3 weeks off of work and school, and literally streamed every single day.
Did
and
you
I
do
had,
that 8 hours plus?
Oh yeah, I streamed probably like 10 plus hours every single day, 7 days a week for 3 weeks.
It's funny that you mentioned that real quick. Professor Broman had this great piece that was on Polygon that talked about his journey to where he's at now, and the grind that it kind of took and how it consumed a lot of his time.
Yeah, and he was saying
when
it was
comes
really
to
bad in the
It was
beginning.
really, really
Yeah.
rough for him. So it's a great piece. If I can link it later, maybe I'll tweet it out or something like that. I'll make sure to do that. But if you are interested in Twitch and you have that same mentality, it is one of the best, just down the heart or down to earth, straight from the heart type of articles that I've read from someone in the Twitch community. Okay, so back on partnerships.
Awesome. I would say, streaming wasn't something that I was striving for in the beginning. YouTube was my main focus and things like that. And then, everybody's like, hey, we really want to see you live and things like that. So as my, YouTube grew, I said, hey, I'm going to try streaming out. And, a lot of people that follow me on YouTube came on over, and it definitely helped out a lot. But it was still a process in general, same thing, starting out. It's fairly difficult, but
Yeah, and I think some people may have the notion that like it sort of just happens.
Yeah,
And it doesn't.
It's that grind.
Like even though I got partnered fairly quickly during the time frame that I did, it was a lot of work. I don't regret it, but I was exhausted.
Mhm.
When I did have to go back to work and when I did have to go back to school or whatever I was doing at the time, I was exhausted. Like it was just so hard, and trying to find that balance, like even now trying to find the balance between, we have full-time jobs, right? Like, then, I go home, I try to hurry up and eat food really quick and set up my stream. Yesterday I had audio issues, so I had to try and figure that out. It took me an hour to figure it out. And then, I was super stressed like trying to start streaming, and then I finally got streaming and ended up streaming until 2 in the morning because I lost track of time. And,
And you're like,
had to get ready for bed.
Yeah.
That's a whole like hour because you got to get ready for bed and like brush teeth and shower and everything. And by the time I was in bed, it was like 3 a.m. and I had to wake up in 5 hours to go to work. So it's intense.
I didn't do any video. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I got partnered probably close to over 2 years at this point too. But there was a period in time where I was trying to work like even just a part-time job, and I felt my day just drained. I like to do the longer streams and come in and just like that's my focus of the day, and just and it's not easy. So I definitely commend the people that find a way to balance both or get time in to do all that. Like that's extremely admirable.
To be like a machine.
Yeah, no, you do.
Yeah.
And Sundown does that too. He's able to, it's not easy, but it's when people
Literally
put
have to
that
be a
work
machine.
in, you
Yeah.
notice
Yeah.
it.
And I mean, when you put the work in, you notice it,
Oh, yeah.
right?
Oh,
Like
yeah.
it's,
For sure,
it's worth
definitely.
it. But at the same
Yeah.
time, you have to find that balance. You absolutely have to find that balance because, like I said earlier, you're either going to burn yourself out or
You're gonna
there's
get
gonna be
frustrated.
actually like something
Yeah.
physically that is happening to you that is not good.
Yep.
Well,
right.
the
Lack
other
of
thing that
sleep,
goes with that
whatever.
is like you have to remember that at the end of the day, like rewinding all the way back to like how you just got into doing all this video content is because
Mhm.
like you felt driven and you wanted to do it. Like it has to be fun for you at the end of the day. It has to be something that you enjoy doing. You can't get wrapped up in the whole like, just I guess the income behind it. Because if you lose sight of that, then what do you really have there?
Yeah.
So.
Totally.
Yeah, you're talking about making like streaming on Twitch to
Yeah.
make money.
Yeah.
I think if you go in with that,
Oh,
go
and-
into it with that mindset,
Yeah.
it's not going to work.
it's,
It
it
has
is
to be
not.
You'll
fun
get
for
frustrated.
That- yeah.
Very,
Yeah.
very,
Yeah.
very.
Because it takes a
Very
really long
quickly.
build. Yeah, it's not like an overnight like flip the switch. Like all right, we're in there. It's,
Yeah.
Definitely.
It takes a
Yeah.
long time
Yeah.
to get to a spot where you could even support yourself without having a part-time job or a significant other or family or something like that helping to make that a reality. So I think that the visions of grandeur are while aspirational and I think you should have them, I think people need to be much more grounded in the reality of what it takes to get there.
For sure.
One of the things I was going to mention about short days is this has almost nothing to do with streaming, but on some of the days where I would wake up at 6, stream to 9, work, come home, do family, then I would do like another gaming session, but I wouldn't stream. I'd do like some YouTube videos. I was posting a video every single day on my channel. Then I would stream in the morning, have family, and then I was literally getting like 3 or 4 hours of sleep. And it's like at some point my body was just like,
What are you doing?
no. And now I sleep 6, 7, 8 hours, and it's just I can't go. One, I'm getting older, but I
Yeah.
cannot get 4 hours of sleep every single day and be functioning at a level that would be comparable and something that you should willingly want to do. I think you have to do it in spurts if you're going to try that, and you have to make sure that you're maintaining a healthy life balance. But one of the things I had noted recently is this has actually happened last night. I knew we had to do this stream. I had prepped for it, wrote all these notes up for us, and yesterday when I went home, I was like super tired. It was like 11 o'clock or something like that when I had all this finished. I went upstairs and I laid down on the couch and I started to fall asleep. Chris, my fiance, is like, "Hey, go upstairs, go to sleep." So go upstairs, brush my teeth, and she turns on a movie. She knew I was sleepy, and she turned on a movie,
And
and
then
I
you couldn't
could
stop
not go to
watching it.
sleep. I couldn't
Yeah.
stop watching. I'm sitting
Second
there
wind.
like,
There it
I'm
is.
so tired, but
Yeah.
I want to watch this
Yeah.
movie. And it was 4 o'clock when I went to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
I was so mad at her. I woke up and I was like, I'm mad at you.
I feel like I kind of do that to myself sometimes.
Yeah.
I was so
Like-
upset.
Like I definitely do that to myself sometimes, especially after I get done streaming. I'm like, oh, let me see who else is streaming, and then I go to someone's channel, and before I know it, I've been watching them for 30 minutes, and I'm like, oh my god, I have to go to bed.
Yeah,
What am I
yeah,
doing?
yeah.
Like I was supposed to be out the
Oh my
computer 20
God.
minutes ago,
Yes.
and then I just get in the I'm the same way.
All right,
I'm
so
with you.
I want to open this up to we've been watching the chat for a little bit now, but I want to open this up for chat for the last little bit of the stream to just kind of see if there's any questions about getting into content creation. We got Nabori here, we got Fizz here. If you guys have questions for them, it'd be awesome. If you guys have questions about how to get involved with what we're doing for Twitch whitelisting, go over that really quickly again, or just Epic Philosophy, whatever it is that you guys have questions about for
Jack-
community.
Nabori wink at
Chat's
me.
been digging for a Nabori
Can I
wink.
do it?
Yeah.
Camera right
Which
there.
one is it?
It's
Right
the
there.
blue,
It's this one right here.
How close can I get?
You can.
close
Do
as
it.
you want.
Do it.
Yeah.
That was amazing. Thank you, Mud. I appreciate it.
I hope you guys enjoyed this stream. I
Hopefully
really
we
do,
clip
because
that.
this was it's a longer stream. I know it's just talking heads, but it's something that we've been figuring out what's the best format to do this. This is almost like something that I want to do like a. I'm not saying this is as fact, but it's something that we would want to do at like an event. Like a.
Sorry, the chat is freaking out because they saw the wink. And it's amazing.
There it is.
Yeah. Your emotes
Oh,
came
you
out
actually
nice.
have an emote
Cheers.
that's you
Yeah,
winking. Okay,
that's dope.
that's amazing.
Did you not know that?
No, I didn't know that. I've seen some of his emotes, but I haven't seen that one.
Yeah.
That's
So
awesome.
My favorite one is the flex though.
Heck yeah.
There's Fizz.
All right.
Yeah. So that actually was a Twitch emote. It used to have a Kappa face, and we just kind of put my face.
Put your face
yeah,
on it?
Yeah. But I'm excited. I started talking to an artist, and I'm looking to just kind of pretty much clean the slate as far as those and come in with fresh new emotes. So
You know who you guys, I mean, we have some fantastic community artists, and I've seen Sneaky Paragon work on a
Yes.
couple people's things. I'm just throwing it out there. Like, there are artists in the community that I'm definitely sure want to work with you guys if you guys have.
Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't
requests.
actually. Yeah, that's a good one.
There you go.
Patrick's always
yeah.
happy.
Yeah. There you go. trying to look out for you guys.
Yeah.
Why no invite to some pro players? So whether there are no professional players in Paragon in the sense that we have an official established league or anything like that, but there are obviously players in PCL and some of the community organized tournaments, and we have invited them out to Epic before, and we continue to maintain relationships with them now. But this was something, like I said, both these guys are right. And there's Captain Junkie. There he is.
Oh, look, he's using your emotes.
Yeah.
That's your face.
That's me ranting.
That's amazing.
So these guys were just they're in our area. They play Paragon, and they happen to also be very prominent on Twitch and YouTube. So it was awesome of them to come out. Fizz is a giant, confirmed.
I saw one question. Will you guys be at TwitchCon? I saw that earlier.
Sure, I'll say yeah.
Ooh.
We've been at TwitchCon the last 2 years, so they are in the third one, right? This upcoming one will be the third because I went
Yeah.
to the first one.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
So yes, we will. I will go ahead and say yes.
Not sure in what capacity, but yes.
We'll be there.
Yo, real quick though, the Revenant looks pretty sweet.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
mean Revenant. Hey,
Yeah.
hey, Revenant.
Yeah.
Dev stream on Monday. We will have out an artist named Marco. I don't want to mess. You guys know how I am
He's
with
awesome.
names. Marco's stuff is amazing, and we're going to talk a little bit with him. But he is making something very, very, very special to show you guys, and I am super, super excited for next week. It's going to be awesome, awesome week. So psyched for Revenant. Is there a video coming out tomorrow? There is a video coming out tomorrow.
Oh, I saw your reply to someone on Twitter. There's just a GIF. It's like secrets, secrets. I'm curious as to what that actually is.
Streamed, you talked about the recommendations to work at Epic Games, and you said something about QA or quality assurance and couldn't find any clear definition of it. So can you please give a brief summary of it? Recommendations to work at Twitch. I was more so talking about the industry, getting into the industry, and content creation is a great way to get involved. And I just talked to my path to get into community management, which went from I was a competitive player. I worked sort of loosely in the industry. I met some people by working events, a lot of tournaments at a LAN center, and then transitioned kind of into pro play. And then from there, I started making a lot of YouTube content. And my first in was through QA, where I was basically just testing bugs, learned all the systems on how to use things like Perforce and Jira and all those systems for that. But when the opportunity arose for community, I had this history of event running, logistics, tournament logistics. I had pro player experience, and I had kind of brand management through personal brand management, and then I was working with people like Razer at the time with sponsorships and stuff. And so when I presented all that, they were like, "You've been here the whole time?" I was like, "Yeah." So that's kind of how I got in, and it was very structured, and I had goals, right?
Yeah.
So I had goals, and I saw the path, and it can be difficult for a lot of people, because if people in your support circle don't always see the goal, they will ask questions, and it's difficult for you to materialize and answer them when you go, "This YouTube video is going to lead to this," and it's like, what? So, you know, I had a very good support circle that kept pushing me and making sure that I was staying on task with my goals.
Support circle and connections.
Yes.
Talking to people,
Talking to
getting to
people.
know people, getting involved is huge.
I mean, one of the things that over the last year, I just had the pleasure to be able to work here with you guys, you know, and it's like, the only thing I really want to say to anyone watching is like, if that's a dream that you have, like, and you have a certain skill set that, you know, I would just apply. That's what I did.
Yeah.
You know, I did it on the
Just do
website
it.
and went through the interviews and stuff, and
And then you were like, "Hey, I applied for this," and I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, Fizz,
yeah.
yeah,
It
okay."
was like the best time of my life. It's
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah.
It can be challenging, but you know, I feel like once you're in, man, you can find a home in the industry if your mind is set on it. I'm really focusing on community related questions right now. I see some questions about rank and things like that. Those are things that we're working on.
Will you be a voice in game?
Oh, yeah.
Kale Smith.
Let's get KL in there, the voice.
I don't feel comfortable answering that question. It maybe
You should
I don't
just
know.
voice Wildless right off.
I'll whisper. We.
Do you have any lore?
Guys be giving-
Anything cool? Like,
I gave out lore. I gave out one snippet of lore on the stream marathon yesterday, and I provided Revenant's human name, which is Jedediah.
Nice.
That's a dope
interesting.
name.
Jedediah, yeah. Yup,
Jedi for short.
Jedediah.
that is one thing I'm super excited for in Paragon, is just seeing the web of, like,
Can we get a Fizz and Nobori arm wrestling match?
I don't want to break the stream.
Fizz,
Yeah.
I love you, but I think Demore.
no, I get roasted. I haven't hit the gym in a while.
Any word on some card updates? Tune in Monday for the dev stream. We'll give you guys some updates. If you guys remember on the dev streams, we talk about the next few updates that are coming out. We'll talk about the 39.3. We'll talk about 39.4, 39.5, and I'll hint at some stuff coming in V40, which we did on a blog post, basically saying that we have card changes in the works, and lots of hero updates. How do we read chat from so many people? We slow it down.
Slowly.
We slow it
The
down.
scroll bar is pretty high up there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there's like half of a lot of people in there.
It's 6 now, so we're about out of time. I'm trying to look if there's any more community questions that really stick out.
This has been fun though. You know, thanks for inviting us out.
Yeah,
You know, I'm not
this is
trying to
different.
like.
This is
Yeah,
different,
yeah.
right?
It
It's
was,
a very
kind of
different
like
type of
hanging out with
stream.
KL. You know, like.
It's very chill.
Yeah, I like it.
Kale's alright, I guess.
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Yeah. Misty, do you have birthday
How
plans?
big
What's-
is the Twitch chat monitor? How big is this monitor? Is this like a 30 something? 30 inch? 35 inch? I don't know. Is it 30? That's not a thing. 32, 37,
Let's say-
40? I'm going to say 40. I think it's a 40
I'm
inch
gonna say
monitor.
40. As
I think
well.
it's a 40 inch.
Very relevant conversation.
Yes, totally. Any chance of an interesting revelation from you guys at E3 this year? Cannot confirm anything at any convention because, man, it takes us a long time to lock those down.
It's still in the works.
Okay, there we go. I've wanted to continue my YouTube channel, and I've been playing Paragon for a while now and wanted to start doing montages for Paragon since you love the game, but you're finding it hard to balance getting content for video in university. What would you suggest, Nobori?
I would definitely just plan out what you want to do. I mean, it's kind of hard to plan out because of, you know, the character selection. So, like, you want to do one character. Hey, you're not going to get this character. So I would say get multiple things you want to do. Like, say you want to do something with this character, something with this character, and have them lined up. So if you can't play the character you want to play, you'll have another option to do something else, and that would help out with your busy schedule at university. And, you know, you could take your time with your montage videos because it doesn't have to be in one session. You can keep going with it. So, yeah.
Look at me now, Arctic.
Did you say that at one point?
I did not say look at me
Okay.
now. Look at me now.
I'm getting
Me
paper.
paper.
Oh,
Okay, I was
goodness.
right there. Okay. All right. Thank you, Kale. I
That happened
appreciate
on stream. Somebody clip it.
No, these are all. I would love to answer a lot of these balance questions. You know, Mooney and I would tackle these during the dev stream, but if we have more questions for these guys while they're here, it would be fantastic. We answered Julie's. Thank you, Julie, for asking that question. Awesome.
The other thing about that YouTube question, while you're looking for another one, is it's not necessarily a rush to get tons and tons of content out. Like, if you're in university and you don't have the time to collect all this stuff, like what Nobori said, is just take your time with it. You know,
Ooh,
producing one good YouTube video has merit to it. So you can do it slowly and come out with good content. totally fine.
All right. So one thing we did not cover: Halo's win 2002. Fantastic question. Do you have to pay royalties for music when streaming? When streaming, no, you do not have to pay royalties. What Twitch does is they auto mute sections of your stream. I think they just, like, if it's 1 minute, they do 30 minutes.
So it
Or is
depends.
20,
It
10
depends.
minutes.
So if you are a non-partner channel, it does 30 minutes, and if you are a partner channel, I think it goes 5 or 10 minutes.
Okay. So if you do not have the rights to the music that you are streaming, your stream will be muted for those time blocks around the content or the music that you have in there. On YouTube, it is very vicious when it comes to music. They are savages over there because they just have a different format. So for royalties and music there, what they will do is they will demonetize your well, actually they'll let labels or anyone make a claim on your content if it is not something that you own, and then you have to go through a process of showing proof of ownership for that music. So the best thing to do is go with royalty free music on places like YouTube, Twitch. I mean, you can more or less stream whatever you want, but you're just going to have to know that your stream is going to get muted when it goes to the playback. But YouTube, royalty-free music or working with artists has been fantastic for me personally. I've established a couple of relationships with people that will make some of the little snippets that I use for music.
Yeah, I know.
And I'm not going to tell people workarounds. That's not what I'm going to do.
I know things
Maybe we
like
can have a discussion later about that.
I know things like Monster Cat Music.
Yeah,
that you
yeah,
can
yeah.
actually, like, I know before you had to like apply for a partnership with them where you could play literally
Their
anything
entire
that was
library?
under the Monster Cat title.
Do they do
But I think it's
$9.99 or something like that?
Yeah, I think now you pay yearly. I think it's like $10.
Okay.
And you can
Have their
literally
entire
use
stream library.
Yeah, their
that's
music
pretty
on
dope.
anything,
Yeah, I like
yeah.
that. That was a great question. When can we expect a new replay system? I know that would be great for tournaments and broadcasting and things of that nature. We're working on all of those things. All of the things that people are mentioning in here. Where can I submit for Community Spotlight? Is it something you guys stumble upon, or is there somewhere we submit? So there's two places that are great for showcasing at a very easy level content. If you tweet us, it's just at Paragon, or if you email us, the alias is community@paragon.com. Then we have people that the community team will look through and we'll look at different submissions. But those are probably the best two places. Most of the time we are actively, I would say 90% of the time, we are actively scouring the entire internet, all of it, for content to spotlight. Like I said, we do not believe in the idea of only spotlighting select individuals all the time. We try to be as broad as possible. In fact, we do a raid. We do a raid that's something that you and I had talked about when we started, and now we're doing it every Saturday. We find someone that's completely new, or they're streaming, or they don't have a big viewer base on Twitch, and we will raid their channel with the Paragon bot.
Nice.
And we try to get as many people in there. So we've seen up to 400 or 500 people come in for a person that had like 1 or 2 viewers, and they go,
What is
"Whoa,
happening?
what's going on?" So it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I know. When I used to work on Paragon, I would Twitch was my big thing. Like, I love Twitch, and I would always try and find people on Twitch. I would have like 8 streams open at any given time, and like, watch someone for 10 minutes, close out of that one, open another one, know, and just sit in there and watch, just find new people.
What is a good community example?
Community
That's
person or community?
Yeah, MK, you might have to ask that question a little bit more specifically. We'll do 5 more minutes. Question to KO: is there a chance to see you on Igremir in Moscow this year? I don't know.
I feel like that would be a fun event.
Wes
to
went
go
to Igremir last year.
I want to go. Moscow seems awesome.
Let's see. I love you guys too. Look at the arms. Okay.
Now I have that song stuck in my head. Look at
What?
me now. Look at, and I can like hear the beat in my. This
Yep.
is terrible. I need to listen to another song.
Okay, we'll cover that again. So, the things I talked about for viewership, real quick. If you're trying to get more viewers, Twitter and followers and things of that nature is, well, I guess if you're talking about Twitch followers is very similar to YouTube. But the tips that we kind of covered were first to do something. So if you are the first to stream a game, you're the first to upload a video or on a specific game, if you're the first person to have a build guide available for a hero, if you're the first person to introduce a unique spin or different type of topic, where we talked about, every hero in the game is going to be a fruit, and we're going to talk about, what did I say, Countess is a strawberry, and where he said someone is orange sherbet. Rampage is orange sherbet. And it's different and unique, but that's a way to get people interested in your comment and separate you from all of the same type of content that you could see. You can get support from a developer or publisher just for being consistent, really. And if you do consistent stuff and you're aligned, some developers don't necessarily, or publishers don't outwardly promote the things that they look for, but good rule of thumb is like things that are onboarding. So players tips, build guides, just generally having a positive attitude, I would say more so is going to put you in line with those types of folks. And then I mentioned using third-party developer information as a way to get a jump on what content might be relevant. And the example I used is like Fury or Agora or Paragon GG, looking at some of their stats because they use our API to determine how many people are playing a specific hero and say, man, there's a whole lot of people playing this hero, or there's a whole lot of matches with this hero in game. Maybe it'd be a good idea for me to post some videos or do a stream with that hero in mind. Those are all some things that you can kind of use to build viewership and build an audience.
I think it's interesting. There was a question: how do you get past stage fright during streaming? And I think that's always an interesting thing to talk about, because you don't always have to use a camera when you stream.
No, you don't.
A lot of people do, but you don't have to. I mean, look at the top streamer on Twitch, Lyric. He never uses a camera.
Yeah.
And he's literally the top streamer on Twitch.
Yeah. It becomes at that point it becomes an exercise in what we talked about with quality.
Definitely.
So it's like either you're showing quality of gameplay or your discussion of what you're actually talking about is engaging to build that audience and keep them involved.
Yeah, and it depends on what you're comfortable with too. I mean, if you're wanting to go outside of the box and sort of like push your own limits and your own boundaries, then you should totally do it. You should totally play with the camera and see if you can actually do it.
Yeah.
But if not, just do what you're comfortable with.
Yeah, totally. And Clint knows this. There have been events that we've had in here where I have been super nervous, and I've been doing this a long time now. I think the same thing happens with you. But I get super nervous whenever we have dev streams right before we do our explicit. Let me get all the words out that we're gonna say that we shouldn't say on stream right before the stream, and that typically is okay. All right, I'm in my mode. But there have been times when I've been like super nervous to the point where I'm like, and it's just like as you start talking, once you just start talking, everything is just like, I'm just having a conversation, I'm just talking to the camera. But yeah, it's really about finding your comfort zone.
Yeah, and I just me personally, when I was younger, I didn't talk to anybody, like nobody. I got to a point where I was like getting older, and I wouldn't even order my own food in a restaurant. Like my mom had to do it for me, when I was like a little girl. But I eventually worked out of that and like sort of like pushed my comfort zone, and like it's weird now because saying that I was like that, and now I'm like working in community and I'm streaming and going to events and all this stuff is like kind of weird.
So
but
I'm gonna end this. I'm gonna end the stream with a story, but I want you to finish.
Okay.
I'm gonna end this stream with a story on not talking to people and doing weird things like that about my brother.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Are you gonna throw him under the
I'm
bus?
gonna throw him under the bus
Oh,
because I have a
no. I hope
great
he's not
story for you
watching.
guys. I always end up with story time. What about you guys? Stage fright.
I mean, there have been days where I'm like, because you want to have this is like a little twist on that. Just because I've been doing this a while, so it definitely at first was like that, but it was more so coming to events like this was more stage frighting to me than actually streaming. Yeah, but you just kind of like
think-
I feel comfortable now.
And I
you
think
know?
that the other part too is like being in big groups of people.
Yeah.
Like I know that in a setting like this, I'm fine, but throw me in a room with 50 people that I have to talk to.
Oh, God.
And I'm like, oh boy.
Remember I said that
I'm
story?
like freaking out. I'm like, oh.
At Gamescom, my first year at Epic, my first time at Gamescom, I had to go out and I was hired to be Fortnite community manager. So I had to go out on stage on the Nvidia booth and do this thing where I had to get all these people riled up to go to an event that we were having for Fortnite. And so there's like 2,000 people
Dang.
at this booth. And I was looking at the crowd and I was like, oh my God, these people are so hyped. The Gamescom is like, the energy levels are out of this
Intense.
world.
Yeah.
And so I was just like, what?
Hey guys.
Hey guys. I had to follow this guy that was, oh no, hey, Fortnite,
Yeah.
Fortnite.
Like, how do you live up to that?
And I was like,
yeah.
Hi guys, we got a party. I was like, okay, all right. I didn't have to do much. I
Yeah.
just had to say the words party.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Go this way. And they were like, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I would say like at the start, like Fizz would say, it's kind of, once you get 5 people watching, and then you get 10, and then
Yep.
maybe it goes up to 20, and you get that kind of weird feeling like, oh man, there's 20 people in here. I'd say the best thing, like, and it keeps going there. So you hit a milestone, hey, you get 500 in here. You're like, oh, start playing like garbage. But like you eventually get out of that. I would say biggest thing would be make it so you can't see how many people are in there, but
yeah.
still read chat. You know what I'm saying? That would probably be
Yeah, that one
the
definitely
best
helps.
advice.
You know what's actually interesting is I have more of that stage fright when I know that there are people watching, but just nobody's talking. Like I get a lot of people that just lurk in my channel, and I'm like, yo, come on, man, you're just
You're like,
watching me play video games here. Like it's cool, but it just it feels.
It's like all the people are like looking through your window, but like not actually saying anything
Yeah, I
to
just
you.
feel like
They're just like
staring,
watching you.
and, but
sorry
yeah, no,
guys for yelling in the mic, but that's literally what it's like.
right. You have to give
They're
it the
like,
full
"Ears
experience,
up.
otherwise it's not.
Party! All right, so I'm going to end the stream with this story.
Okay.
I don't know how much walking I can do. Clint, you got to let me know my boundaries here. So,
I love animated stories.
yeah,
They're the
so
best.
my brother, this is going off of Tori's story when she talked about just awkward like social settings and stuff like that. When you're a kid, you do really
That's
crazy
it.
stuff. So there's this game store that we used to go to. I think it was like a Play and Trade or something like that, right? And so let's say
What's up over there?
the boy over here is the cashier, and my brother, he's like 6 years old, and so we trade in all these games, and there's a classic game that we happened to trade in at this one, Suikoden 2 RPG. I loved RPGs. I traded that game. I had to tell you, I traded that game in, found out it was like worth triple afterwards because it's like a classic game. I was so mad. I'm still mad about it. Tilted. All right. So anyway, so my brother, 6 years old, and
You look like a giant, by the way.
Yeah.
Like us,
I
like
do, I'm
sitting
sorry.
here in the camera.
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
brother goes. The guy he's cashing on stuff. He's like putting it on the counter, and the guy's like, this will be whatever, $20. So yeah, where you?
Yeah, it'd be about $20.
Okay. So my brother walks away. He goes like this, off into a corner, kneels on the ground like this, pulls like he was like grabbing his money that he had, and this is my wallet. This is my wallet, guys. He's going like this in his wallet, grabs out his money, walks back over to the guy, and hands him his money. It was the oddest thing I have ever seen in my life, but it was just like so because he didn't want to pull it out in front of him. He was nervous. He didn't want to talk to him, so he walked completely away. Went into a corner. This is a corner. He went into the corner of the store. We're in a store. He kneels on the ground, reaches in his pocket, and just grabs his comes back over and gives him his money and then like takes it and like walks away. It was the weirdest thing I've ever seen. The weirdest thing I've ever seen, guys.
Okay, so was he, one, afraid to show him how much money he had in his wallet?
He's 6.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. Like, was it like I'm embarrassed?
I don't
like,
know.
That's
like
awesome.
6-year-olds get embarrassed about
But
weird things,
stuff.
right?
I don't
so like,
know. I have no idea. He's 6 years old, guys. Like, it was the weirdest thing I've ever seen.
I only have $20.
I was,
I'm sorry.
and I'm about 5 years older than my brother. I might have been 14 or 15 at the time, or I'm sorry, 14, 15. I might have been 10 or 11 at the time, and I'm just looking at him like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing right now? And so afterwards, I mean, it's one of those things I constantly tease. My brother, he also works at Epic, but he's like so outgoing now. He actually got into acting and so like completely polar opposite. But it was the weirdest thing I've ever seen. Like if you ask him to this day, he's like, no, I didn't do that. It's like, dude, I know you remember that. I know you remember that. So.
Did he ever do anything like that after that?
Like,
Was he so self-conscious that he was like, I can't.
All right,
can't
so
do
you guys
want to
hear one more story?
Oh yeah. Come
Yeah.
on.
All right, one more story of my brother. So.
Poor guy.
No, you don't. But it's a little uncomfortable. It's PG-13 because he was like 3 years old. So my cousins, no, he wasn't my cousin. Was technically his mom. I'm gonna say this. It's gonna sound weird. It's gonna sound weird, guys. Okay.
Is it gonna be
This is
taken
story
wrong?
time. It's gonna be taken wrong.
Okay. Trigger warning.
My brother is 3 at the time. 3, okay? All right, so, and this just shows like awkwardness of his personality from when he was like a little kid and he was like super bad to like he got like 6, 7, started talking to people and like started shying away. 3 years old, my cousin's mom is over. She wouldn't technically be my cousin now, but cousin's mom is over and she has on stockings. And my brother was like very obsessed with legs when he was young. And so she's sitting like this, and my brother, 3 years old, walks over to her leg and starts going like this to her leg. And so she thought it was hilarious, but that was the type of stuff that he would do at that age. And we were in church one day. He got up off the stage and did a spin. He's 3 years old. Did a spin like a break dance out in the middle of the choir after singing, and like popped up, and then all of a sudden, like 3 years later, he's like off in a corner digging in his wallet, hiding, and then like, it's my brother, man.
What did you do to your poor
I
brother?
didn't do anything. Don't
What
blame
did you do to
me.
your poor brother?
This is not me, guys. I was encouraging him to do the right thing all the time.
dim legs.
Oh
There
yeah,
we go.
I'm having fun. I'm just chilling.
I know everyone's like, Fizz, are you okay?
I know. It's I
In the
guess
middle of the service, yes, Squanto. In the middle of the service.
You mean have your brother on the stream one day?
Yeah, we can ask him some questions about
Needs to happen
these
now.
stories.
I
Like,
want to know the truth.
Yeah, just have him on for a stream, and he's gonna think that we're talking about Paragon, and then just all of a sudden, but sorry, when you were 6,
what were you thinking?
what were you
What was the
thinking?
thought 20 years ago? What were you thinking about? So yeah, it was interesting.
Does he
time.
remember it at all?
I don't think he remembers the like the breakdancing and church. Like
Okay.
you had to be like it was really weird.
Because I'm just trying to. I feel like I've probably done stuff like that, but I don't remember any of it. Like I don't remember stuff I did when I was 3,
No.
6, 8 years old.
I have a couple.
You know?
I remember the one thing I did preschool. This kid took my blue airplane and I bit him. That's the only memory I have. I went like trick or treating and stuff like that, and I was scared of Freddy Krueger.
So you bit somebody.
I bit him because he took my little toy blue plane. I was a biter.
Okay.
I have like write-ups. My mom keeps them to show me.
Are you?
It's like, Mom, this is like literally when I was like 1 and 2 and 3. It's like, Mom, why do you have these? Because I think it's funny.
That's hilarious.
I have like pink slips. I was a biter.
Does your mom still keep like your report cards and stuff?
No,
like
no
your
report
like
cards.
AB honor roll,
No
like certificates.
I
that they
have
gave
plaques
out?
and stuff, but
Okay.
but no like report cards.
Okay.
I was a biter.
Giggity.
There we go. There's a little insight into the life of Arctic
Hmm.
and my brother. If he's watching right now, he's probably so
Done.
mad.
He's,
Done.
He
he's
is
probably
on
right
tilt
outside
right
the
now,
door,
yeah.
like waiting
He
for
is
you.
waiting for me.
Can't
Yeah.
believe you.
right
Yeah,
now.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, rip.
There you go.
Rip Kale.
All right, guys. I hope you guys really, really, really enjoyed today's stream. It was great having
did. It was
you
fun.
guys out. Yeah, it was
Definitely.
I
Yeah.
like watching you guys
It was
over there
awesome.
too. It's pretty cool.
fun.
I was making faces at Ed, trying to make him laugh.
And then called me out. Ed called me
yeah,
an old man.
I know, right? That's why I was like, oh my, he just straight up called him old. What is that? To be honest, though, you look like you're 26, so
Thank you.
I'll give you that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Staying young. My 3 gray hairs. Anyway, Nabori, Fizz, thank you guys for coming out. Awesome to have you guys on.
Yeah, no.
I
thanks
hope
for
we
having
can do more of these in the future. I really, really, really want to do this at an event and like talk through some of this out on like a panel. So I'll be definitely trying to push for that in the future. But you guys are doing excellent stuff, and I think it's awesome to be able to talk with this in a very open platform with the community. So
Yeah.
appreciate it.
I think
Appreciate
chat
you
wants
guys
to
too.
know if you guys are streaming later as well. They've been asking both of you.
Most likely.
Should check them out.
Yeah.
Pretty cool
Yeah,
guys.
we'll play some Paragon.
Aw, Kale is such a good community manager. Aw. Does that make you feel good?
I have goals, guys, and I always strive for the best, and so I appreciate that, but I always want better. I always want people
It's a
to
good thing.
feel like, man, we really care, and I don't think people really realize it in the community. Some of the heartache that we have to go through because people don't know just how much we care. Because I've
Right.
come from that place that you guys were in, and I know what it's like to not have developer support,
Yep.
to not have publisher support, to not have people in the community that want you to succeed. I think too many times people feel like they're at odds, and it's like, man, you guys would just work together. Yeah, you build everybody
It's
up.
unbelievable, yeah.
And some of the guys that I have, we didn't really talk about this, but some of the guys that I have known for a very long time now, they made groups, and those groups, and I'm going to give some examples. CNNers, Hutch, and I can't remember the other, I can't remember his name. Anyway, those 3 were like some of the first guys that started to group together, and all of them grew. Gold Glove, Gassy Mexican, Active Bunny Fufu, Vern, those guys all hang out together. All the channels grew. I mean, so the more you're like going like this and not working together, the worse off you are. I can't stress that enough. And so a lot of the animosity that you might have towards one another is some of the things that it's like, man, I really wish we could get more opportunities to just talk to people and make sure they understand, like, if you're trying to accomplish something in this space, working together is so much better than trying to be at odds with each other.
Yep.
Mr. Sark, yeah, Sark, thank you.
Yes.
Man, I feel so bad. I can't remember Sark. I've talked to Sark like so many times because I'm in Machinima's network, because I used to talk to them all the time. Anyway, appreciate it, guys. Again, thank you guys so much for coming out. Hope you guys enjoyed the stream. It was very, very fun, and we will see you guys next time.